A weakening Canadian dollar is putting a dent on a lot of travel plans for some, making it very expensive. A lot more than previous years, in fact. The dollar dropped to a four-year low last month. And this weakening against major global currencies translates to a fall in purchasing power for travelers heading out. The latest data from BMO shows that at least 79% of Canadians plan on cutting back on their holiday spending this year. And let's bring in Marty Firestone, the president of Travel Secure Inc. Marty, thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
A difficult time if you're looking at a trip down south or to Europe or overseas with that weak Canadian dollar.
Well, the key is definitely what you said, the trip down south. That USA now is honestly, with $1 American costing you $1.40 Canadian, nothing makes sense, whether it be hotel, airfare is Canadian, but then you've got food, entertainment, taxis, things like that. It's really difficult to justify that big difference in dollar.
What about anywhere else? Are there deals to be had? Are there places you could look at that we might not take as big a hit?
Yeah. So it's all about the dollar, of course, as that's what we're talking about. So if you believe the relation to the dollar and the peso is better than the dollar to the U.S., then you've got Mexico. You've got places, Dominican Republic. Internationally, depending on the price of the yen and things like that, Japan and others. So I guess the key here is be knowledgeable and look around and try to mitigate what's going on right now with our dollar, which, by the way, I don't think it's going to go up. It's only going to go down, which is going to make the situation even worse.
Are you hearing one place people are kind of honing in on right now?
I would think Mexico and those sun destinations is probably a better bet. Now, airfare might cost more to get to some of them, but at the end of the day, these hotel costs and the food costs and everything else, it's daunting to many travelers. And I don't know how many are going to cancel the trips as a result of this.
Any strategies, some workarounds to try and save a little extra money if you are traveling or have to travel?
Well, starting right with airfare, I guess you've got to maybe leave on a day when the airfare is more attractive than a busy weekend. But of course, you know, the holiday coming up, you're going to be paying a lot for travel, so you're not going to get around that. Hotels versus an Airbnb maybe that you can get has a kitchen in it, so you're not eating out every night. I mean, that I've always said is the strangest thing. You're out for dinner. For that same steak that you had in Canada, somehow it costs, 40 cents on the dollar more. Just hard to justify. So I think the smart consumer is the one who's just going to be looking around, being a little more careful about what they're spending, and just decide what they really want to do and what they want to get out of this vacation.
Now, what about going the other way? Are there Canadians kind of staying in the country for their vacations, and are we getting people coming up this way because of that low dollar?
Big time. Think of an American coming into Canada right now with their dollar versus ours. It's got to be incredibly attractive. So advice to Canadians who don't want to face this dilemma: stay in Canada. Americans, come to Canada. It's a tremendous opportunity when you think how far your dollar will go on clothes, on food, on hotels, on just everything. So it's the exact opposite to what we're facing heading into the USA, and that's what they'll have if they come here.
Okay, Marty, thanks as always for your insight and advice.
Thank you for having me.
Marty Firestone is the president of Travel Secure Inc.